Three stacks, and I got a really fun and interesting deck that's I think is gonna be a killer this format. Of course, DDD's got this huge boost in power, and they're basically at full power, you know, with all the support they've received. And fun fact, if you guys didn't know, fiends are my favorite type of monster. They've been my favorite ever since basically archfiends were a thing. If you guys know about the archfiend archetype, that was my very first deck. The old school archfiends, the ones that are like chess pieces. But yeah, that was the first deck I ever had, and it basically that is why I love fiends. Like they're my favorite kind of monsters. So when I see stuff like Burning Abyss, when I see Infernoids, when I see DDDs, you know, the Archfiends, any Fiend deck, I want it just because I love Fiends. And I think they're the most reckless kind of monsters in existence of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But they're reckless because if they're able to do what they basically their cost is, they just really just overwhelm your opponent. And DDDs is a prime example of just how reckless Fiends are. But they're reckless because they're broken. I think some of the best monsters in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are Fiends, and all their effects are kind of like people think, I don't know, that's kind of crazy. I don't want to do that. But they're for people like me, like just who love to do stuff like that. So yeah, I really do like this deck a lot, specifically because it's Fiends, of course. But I do like that it's a deck with the Pendulum mechanic that doesn't really need to Pendulum summon. But the fact is, if it comes up, you can Pendulum summon if you need be, and you have resources in your extra deck at any time. So the brokenness of the Pendulum mechanic still stands in this deck, but in addition to it, it's a deck that hardly ever even Pendulum summon because it doesn't need to, and also because it hardly ever has the Monster Zone space. But it comes up, like it really is powerful. I think that's another thing that makes this deck a killer. It steals pendulums, similar to Metal Foes, you know, similar to Match Specters. Every time you kill them, they come back. So it's just the deck has a lot of good comebacks. Starting with the main deck, we're running three of the boss monster. I think probably well not the best, but one of the best cards in the entire archetype, Oblivion King Abyss. I love the fact that they're all kings. Team King of Games, baby. They're all kings. So this guy, he's broken. If you don't know his effect, look him up. I actually don't want to go through all the time of explaining what they do. I'm just gonna show you basically the standards. So three of him, three Kepler, three Copernicus, three Slime, three Swirl Slime, three Necro Slime. This is Bay. She puts in a lot of work. Um, DDDs have been out for quite some time, so you guys should be familiar with them. And if not, you guys are definitely gonna get familiar with them and what they do because you'll be seeing them a lot this format. I know the hype is dying down, but nonetheless, people are gonna be playing DDDs this format. And one of Orthoros, Savant Thomas. Now, this is something I want to bump at 2 to 3, but I actually only have one copy. I only own one copy, so pretty much playing one. And if I had two more Thomases, I'll tell you guys what I would take out in a second. And me personally, I'm running a Rebel King Leonidas. Now, most DDD players don't run this guy anymore, and I can see why, but I just like the nutty combos you can pull off with him. Really broken. I like him a lot, and he is the only main deck beater. Your Ragnarok, he's only at 2200, so he gives you access to firepower to basically be able to attack over 2500 beaters. So that's another fun fact, or not fun fact. Another cool thing about Rebel King Leonidas that he's a 2600 beater, and our main deck has literally like no firepower aside from him if you're running him. So he does help you with the crazy combos, and also he's a beater. And that's it for monsters. And for spells, we've got three Allure of Darkness, three Contract with the Gate. This is basically just your Rhoda. Your Rhoda searches for your Rhoda, and your Rhoda just gets more. And one Dark Contract with the Swamp King. Now this is something you can run more ratios, but with all the new support, we're actually able to recycle our contracts. So you don't really need more than this. And also, it can be a bricky card if you draw multiples in your hand. So you'd rather just search it as a one-up. And me personally, I am running a dark contract with the entities. I think all the effects it gives you are broken, and you're pretty much able to summon each one of these monsters in one turn. So I think it's really powerful. If I'm not mistaken, you actually get each effect in the same turn. Like for example, if you fusion summon, you'll gain the life points. But even after that, if you synchro summon in that same turn, you'll get that benefit. And then if you XYZ, you'll get that benefit. I believe all the benefits apply as like once each per turn. And I don't think it's a hard. You can only use one of these effects per turn. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I think this is a really broken spell. Oh, it's just really broken. And taking 2000 is a good thing because what's going to happen is you're going to gain 2000 during your standby. So I like it a lot. And that's it for the contracts. For the forbidden contract spells. Just a 5. And then Double Desires and Upstart just for more draw power. The Allure, it's basically just the same thing. This is all just draw power right here. And these are part of the Lamia engine. This is another Lamia. This is another Lamia. And the Copernicus. Where's my boy at? He's another Lamia. And he's a level 4, which makes him MVP because of the plays you can make with them. I actually do run the rank 4. What's his name? Man, I'm trying. It's hard to pronounce sometimes, but he's the soul charge one. His name is I think it's just Caesar, like King Caesar, because I know there's another Caesar King, but the baby Caesar King, the rank 4, I run him, and I use Copernicus just to make him. And another cool thing about Copernicus that makes him powerful is he's a 1 skill, which basically means you have Copernicus and you have Ragnarok or you have Kepler. You pretty much got your complete scale. Copernicus and Kepler are the best scales for you to have, and you can pin them summon for anything in your deck. So yeah, I don't know why a lot of DD players don't actually pin them summon, but I think it's relevant, and I think that sometimes you just have to, because when you're playing a grind game as far as resources, the bringing back every turn from the extra deck, it really does help. And then some spicy tech traps. A lot of DD players don't run these, or they just don't know about them. Human resources is broken. It essentially lets you recycle and then search for 2D monsters, and you get to return 3 to your deck. So it can be from your graveyard on the field that you control, or even from your extra deck in your Pendulum Zone. I'm sorry, from your extra deck back into your deck, and then you just search for 2. So I look at it as a +1 with benefits. And contract laundering, this is a really powerful card. This can become a +3 to 4 depending on how many contracts you have. But the thing is, all right, I'm gonna take time to explain this one quick thing. When you have Oracle D-Arc and you have something like this, right? And this comes up plenty. You have something like this, right? During your standby, you gain 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So you gain what? That's 4,000. You gain 4,000 life points. Activate contract laundering. Pop all of these. Draw 3 cards. Then gain 3,000 life points. You gain 7,000 life points, which really does help you going into time. So I think contract laundering is a really powerful trap, underrated, and I don't think a lot of people see the potential in it. But I'm running these as 1-ups because they are combo pieces, but it's not something that I want to draw into multiples of. And then I also run a 1 dark contract with the witch. It's basically Raigeki Break, a 1 strike, 1 warning, 1 D barrier, and 1 vanity's emptiness. To sum up the main deck. In extra deck, we've got Oracle D-Arc. I think I want to run him at more, but it's really tight, the extra deck space. Tutamujin, I like this guy a lot. He can be overkill, basically like sometimes you make him when you don't really need him, but he is broken because he doesn't target, he gets over, and he's one of the biggest beaters in the game. I like him a lot. This guy really does come through with the clutch. And Beowulf, I don't really use the piercing or heavy storm effect as much as I do as using him as just a level 8 for rank 8 materials. It's just all part of the combos. Like, this deck has probably over 50 different combos that you can figure out. This deck requires a lot of thinking, and that's another thing I love about DDDs, because me personally, I like a mental challenge. I like creative decks, and this is a deck that really fits my playstyle because I'm like a strategist or a tactician. Like, I'm a general of an army. I like planning out my moves strategically and setting up, and this deck really does exercise my brain, and I like thinking. That's another reason why I love Yu-Gi-Oh, because it's a game that makes you think. It's a really healthy habit in my opinion. But yeah, Trish, Cypher Lord Omega, Crystal Wing, Siegfried, Alexander, and I actually do run Librarian and Formula Synchron. It's just too good. The combo you pull off with these guys is too good. I may have to just do a separate video showing you guys combos. And then 2 rank 8s and my rank 4. This guy could be another rank 8. He could be another synchro. He could be anything, but I really like what he does. And I do like being able to search my dark contracts. And also, one thing I have to let you guys know, the same thing, Oracle D-Arc is broken, because when you soul charge, use his effect, special all the DDDs from your grave, right? During your next standby, you would take the damage, you gain it instead. So this guy can let you bring out 3 monsters, in addition to that, gain 3,000 life points. So he can be nothing but beneficial to you. So I do like him. I really like him a lot. And in playtesting, he has really came through with the clutch. So yeah, that's my progress on the DDD so far. If you guys want to, read more into it, like get more explanations, details, combos, and stuff like that, that'll have to be at a separate video. Today, I just wanted to do the deck profile. Tell me what you guys think. What's your opinion on DDDs? How do you think they'll do this format? and if you guys think it's gonna be viable, or if it might get emergency banned or something like that. So yeah, you guys have a wonderful night, and I got one more thing to show you guys, and then I'm probably gonna be good for a couple days because I gotta get back to work. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys soon.